Welcome in this new session of this little course about the timeline in production. Here we have Houdini 21. Today I want to talk about the frame per second. Before talking about the FPS or frame per seconds, I want to talk about the little bit about the tools you can have here, because before I can grab here a little bit because my screen is cutted for my recorder. Here we have some tools for the playback. Usually we can call this timeline, but in Houdini, if you're looking in the help, for example, is called Playbar. Okay, and the tools you can have, for example, here, this is all Playbar. This is my playhead. This is my playhead. This is my sliders and range slider. It's okay. This is my current frame when is started. For example, if I say 10021 is started here. Okay. This is my range for moved in the range. Okay. Can come back here. You can drag the old and drag this arrow, okay, for create the limitation of your range, and you can move it this range, this slider for show the range. And here we have the end frame, a current and end frame, and this is global end frame. I remember when you want setting your timeline here, you can just click on the global animation option. And here we have all options you can set in for example, the start frame and the end frame. If you're working with the pre-roll, you should be setting here another kind of frames. For example, less 100, you can just say 900 for start, and you can say apply. You can have also the pre-roll for pre-roll, the space for pre-roll. But it's not this case. We can come back like this. You can save also by default that. Here we have also the tools for audio, okay, for the sync if you needed for the sync, okay, for create this lip sync with the audio or animation with synchronize, for example, silent element, maybe the some points need to move it like the wave of the sound. And here we have the kind of looping. We can come back here now, okay? We have the kind of looping. If loop is started from this, when you click play from this frame and arrived here, and you started from the first frame you are setting. You can place one is play only one time. Zigzag is start from the first frame and arrive to the end, and then from the end to the first frame is made the zigzag. And is forever is go over and over. More important is this two in this case, because here we have the real-time toggle. Essentially, I don't have any element here, any animation here, okay? If I press play, you can see my play head is very fast, is scrolling very fast. But if I click on the real time, and press play, you can see my play head is scrolling in the real time. Now the real time is good because is not more slowing, because I don't have any very huge geometry in my viewport. So the scrolling is very, you can say, natural, okay, natural effects. But if you have more big elements or huge geometry here, you can use the flipbook here for create the real play and for see the real movement you can have in your scene. This is more important. And here we have the fracture. The fraction of our is called the sub-step, essentially. Essentially, if you click here, I don't see anything now. Anything is changed. Maybe you can see, you can have here 1001.0. And here also on my playhead, you can see if I move it, I have here the little dot with a little number, in this case 8, for example. And here, if I click the right mouse button, you can see I have here the 10, I can have 5, and here I have 2 or 3, and here the sub-step or custom. You can also go to custom, and you can set in here, for example, your sub-step. What is the sub-step? Essentially, when you're working in animation, usually we can see we needed to create the common count timeline for other software. But there is another aspect we can consider, is the number of frames for create 1 second. This is the core of our lesson. The first time when you started to working with the timeline or with the animation, you say, okay, I create one image and maybe this image is my seconds, is not the second. For create 1 second, you should be use more image, and this is very various in the world, because there is more kind of the scale. Like, for example, in Europe, we can use, for example, the meters for the distance, and in USA is use the difference kind. For example, uses the inch is difference. Also, this difference we can find in animation. And for create 1 second, usually we needed of 24 or 25 or 40 image for create 1 second. How I can understand how to use and why to use one or another? For example, if you are in US, maybe you use the NTSC scale, okay? And NTSC scale is the format you can use, is National Television System Committed, and is different from the PAL, Phase Alternative Line. Where is the big difference from that? The difference is how to use the different kind of energy. I don't want to talk more about that because it's very long arguments, but you can just understand that there is different kind of energy, okay, electric energy in US and in Europe and in another kind of world. We can use different kind of energy. So our recorder, if you are dinosaur like me, maybe you can remember the VHS. The VHS, the video, was a different kind of used the recorder, and have used also the different kind of energy. And for that, when you're working in animation, you have different kind of format. Usually, for my experience, I work from different kind of project, and usually we can use the NTSC format for more kind of this project. But in some case, especially in Italy, I use the PAL system. The PAL system is the system where you can use it, for example, the 25 frames per second. I don't want to talk more about a very different kind of system was in the past and today. But usually when you're working with the mainstream and for Netflix, for Disney, or for Warner Bros, or for another Amazon Prime, for example. But when you're working in production, usually the FPS is the NTSC, and this based was on the specific number. Specific number, we can go and setting here, is not a 24. 24 you can find in another software is called for film, but it's not essentially that. The real is 23.967. And this value is not the real value, okay? Is the approximation. Then you can see here there is the approximation, okay? But it's more important use this kind of frame per seconds. is the number you can have inside your timelines for create 1 second. You can use also for specific project. For example, when I remember when I work in Rome for Puppy Dog Plants, is the TV show for preschool, is animation show. I working with the 24 frame per second. Or for example, when I work in always in Italy, production for TV show, I use 25, okay? Or for example, for the web, I use the 40 for a specific project. One kind of production is for advanced technology. This client asked for 14 frame per second. There is also another kind of frame per second. When you working, for example, for create the slow motion effects. For slow motion, for example, you needed for the double, essentially. And you can working with 48 frame per second or for 60. For my experience, I don't work more with this kind of frame per second. Only in one situation I create the 14 simulation with the 14 frame per second, because we needed also then to have more information for create then the real slow motion effects. You can keep in mind, if you have the slow motion, you needed more frames for have more information and more fluid, more natural interpolation and animation. By the way, we can come back over our specific timeline for production. Usually, for my experience, that is very comfortable and more used for my experience. We can also save as default and we can close. And now we can come back on this element from the fracture. Why we can have here the fracture? Because if you have the sub-step is, you can zoom in a little bit. Okay. Maybe you needed also here the sub-step. When you have the object is very fasted, you can see, okay, here maybe you can see every frames from this frame to another frames, we can reset from started from 0, and you can have the another 0, but have 10. Essentially, you have 10 sub-step inside from one frame to another frame. We can set in here, for example, 2. You can have the middle. And this is more useful for understand where you should be, maybe work very fine, very teeny effects from that. But for my experience, that is not used a lot in production. You should be used that in the specific situation, and we can also come back to this. So, essentially, the little recap. If you work in production, you have the timeline is started from the frame 1001. If you work in production, in specific production, you should be asked also, and maybe you can find in some system like shot in the information like shot grid or F-track, you find the information of the recorder. The recorder is say recorded with this kind of scale, for example, NTSC, and the frames per second should be that. And so when you started your project, you should be go here in global animation, and you can setting your, that is very, 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 very important, because if you working with the different kind of frame per seconds, and maybe you work on the simulation, maybe your simulation is not stable, is not have the same movement you have in your seconds here. Also, for example, if you're working with 24, maybe is not synchronized with your animation, with the placeholder you can use in production. That is very important. You should be setting your timeline.